We're in the CEC office in Warsaw with our head of digital practice, Marcin Krasuski. Marcin, the term digital is right now such a big political buzzword, such an umbrella term with innovations, growth behind it. But what are the actual key topics, the key terms of the word digital?
Yes, it is. So digital encompasses right now almost all aspects of economic life. You can imagine that it starts from the broadband connectivity, meaning access to internet, then software coding, applications, but then it expands also towards processes in companies, how they manage their assets, how the production is being done, and this is immediately connected to the next buzzword, which is Industry 4.0.
Okay, and in the context of Poland and the EU, where do you see the region as a whole, and what is the most important aspects in Polish politics?
So when it comes to Poland, unfortunately, the situation is bleak, but with rays of optimism. So when we talk about digital, the share of digital sector in the Polish GDP is around 4%. This figure is quite small compared to the most developed states such as Denmark, the Netherlands or Sweden, where this value is around 6 to 8%. So we can see that the sector is quite small, but it's still bigger than, for example, mining sector or agriculture. And when it comes to its share in the GDP, its GDP is more or less the same as healthcare. And this is reflected in Digital Economy and Information Society Index, which is an annual report published by European Commission, where the Commission ranks us on 23rd out of 28 EU member states. So unfortunately, Poland is among the laggard countries. We are not at the forefront. And what is most challenging is that, unfortunately, despite the progress, we are losing pace with the most developed countries. So the others are racing forward, and unfortunately Poland seems to be stalling.
Would you say that is behind because that we began too late, or that right now there is a lack of key institutional or political changes on the topic?
Definitely there is a institutional framework in Poland in place. So we have Ministry of Digital Affairs, which is being led by Minister Anna Streżyńska, who is very competent, and she's known for her dedication to the sector. And it seems at least that she has set her priorities right. But there are some fundamentals which we are still struggling with. For example, first of all, it's connectivity. There are still a lot of areas in Poland where there is no connectivity at all, or the connectivity is poor, which prevents people from actually using internet efficiently. Secondly, digital skills. Unfortunately, Poles do not have sufficient digital skills. More than 20% of Poles have not used internet at all. And even if they did, the level of the usage is quite basic. They do not know how to use it efficiently in the work aspects. Secondly, this is being translated to Polish companies. So the Polish companies are not digitized at all. Almost at all. We are compared with our Western European partners. We are, according to statistics, only 1/3 of digitization levels as our counterparts in the Western world. And this translates immediately to the efficiency of how the companies are operating, what is their contacts with the clients base, with their clients, and what kind of offers they can present to the market. And this is actually quite sad, because when you think about Polish economy, it's export-oriented economy, and in the digital world there are no borders, so the competition is fierce, and the Polish companies need to think about foreign expansion when they are planning their business, because the international competitors enter the Polish market without hesitation. And just to give you a few examples, like for example Allegro and eBay, LinkedIn and Golden Line, Pracuj.pl or Monster. So you see that there are Polish companies, but there are immediately threats from the outside world.
Okay, you said that the Ministry of Digital Affairs right now is quite competent. And you listed what I think are the most important challenges in this sector. So what are some of the key changes that the current government is proposing, and what are some of the things that we should look out for in the near future?
So when I said about the priorities of the Minister of Digitization, it seems that her Minister Strażyńska, the main priority is to digitize Polish public services, because unfortunately still a lot of Poles need to conduct their businesses with the state in written form, in paper form, being there in person. It doesn't matter if it's at the local level, at the gmina level, or at the central level. There's only few services that can be completed fully online. So I think that this is her main goal, to digitize this whole process. This is not really well known. It's not a political subject in Poland, unfortunately, because I think that people, when they have contacts with the state, and quite often these contacts are quite burdensome and they're frustrating, they take a lot of time, then people think that the state doesn't work properly. So the state constantly demands the same data from citizens, and I think if a government would be able to fix this using digital tools, then the whole perception of the state would change, because people would start thinking that, hey, the state seems to be actually working efficiently. And in our region, we have good examples. We have Estonia, for example, which made its mark out of digitization of public services. So this is one of the key challenges, and I think Minister Strażyńska has done the right thing in doing this. Unfortunately, she has no direct influence over different ministries and how they are digitizing their own services. So, for example, the database in Ministry of Health or Defense is not compatible with database in taxation authorities, and this results in these authorities demanding constantly more or less the same data from citizens. And last year we had manifestation of this conflict, because there were tensions between Minister Strażyńska and, for example, Minister of Defense Antoni Macierewicz over cyber defense. So we'll see actually if she will be able to deliver what she has promised.
So there's a lot of problems, but also some optimism. There is a lot of room for development, and we know the issues where we have problems.
Obviously, as I said, the picture is bleak. However, there are rays of optimism. And one thing that needs to be told constantly is, for example, the big competence of the Polish programmers. We have more than 300,000 of app programmers in Poland. So we have not only numbers, but also quality, because in international standings, they are only behind Russian and Chinese developers. So they are number 3rd in the world, which is quite remarkable.
Okay, so we have a great potential, of course, right here in Poland.
Let's hope we will fulfill it.
Marcin, thank you very much. To gain further updates about Poland and the region, follow us on Twitter @CZGR and visit our website for the latest briefs.